how does anyone know how creativity works? I mean, it's a mystery. It really is a mystery. So it just sometimes music comes out, sometimes lyrics come out. I'm just grateful anything comes out.
I hear that. Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party, your weekly musical happy hour where musicians pick an album from their back catalog and tell the stories behind their favorite tracks in front of a live online audience.
This week we talk with folk pop songwriter Keri Noble. We revisit her first self-released album, When It Don't Come Easy, talk about channeling her Detroit musical roots, and how her frequent trips to Japan shaped some of the songs. So pour a beverage, grab a snack, and kick back as we listen to music together here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, where it's always Friday and old albums never sounded better. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday!
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And we have joining us today from her home in South Minneapolis, Keri Noble. So excited. And Joe is so excited. He actually got here early just to check in and say he was really looking forward to the show. Linda joining us from New Haven, Connecticut. Connie from Richfield.
Hey, Connie.
Great to have you all here. And if you are joining the party, let us know where you are tuned in from. If you're enjoying a beverage or a snack. And to kick off my weekend, because the cool weather has finally hit Minnesota, a red wine.
Oh, very good.
And Keri, it looks like you have the same thing going on, right?
Yeah, as if we need a reason. Red wine is always fashion and in season.
Yes. And Anthony, what are you enjoying?
I'm enjoying something. I've just started trying this Surly Outlook Good. It's an NA hoppy pale ale, and I am enjoying it in my Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass, where everything tastes so sweet.
Tastes so much better. And hi to Diane from Lake Elmo. She says she's contemplating her beverage. Well, it's sometimes a very important decision. And I hope that's the biggest decision you have to make today, Diane. We are so excited to have Keri Noble joining us today. We've been trying to do this for an embarrassingly long amount of time.
I know.
For all of us. I mean, it's hard to schedule, especially busy musicians like Keri. And for folks who are maybe less familiar with your music, Keri, you want to give the 2-minute origin story of like where you grew up and how you fell into making the music that you make?
Sure. I'm from Detroit, and I'm heavily influenced by Joni Mitchell and Patty Griffin and really female singer-songwriters. And I started playing piano and singing, writing my own songs, and eventually found myself here in Minnesota back in 2001. Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
And what initially brought you to Minnesota? Was it the music? Because obviously Detroit is a big music city.
Yeah, it is for sure. I didn't know anyone making music in Detroit. I think it has so much to do with relationships, and I didn't know not that I didn't know anyone, but I wasn't connected to a community. And I met some people who lived here in the Twin Cities, and I came out to do a show. Do you know who Billy McLaughlin is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he brought me out I met him when he played a show in Michigan. And he brought me out. He was doing this this regular series at the Fine Line. And he would bring in musicians that he had met from all over his travels. And so one month he brought me over, and I was like, he introduced me to his friends, and I played the Fine Line back in the day, and I was just like hooked. And I felt like there was more of a community here than there was that I knew of at that time in Michigan. And so I was like ready to make the move.
Excellent.
Great.
Well, we love that that the music is what drew you to Minnesota, and that the other things like the cold didn't keep you away. I guess you're in Detroit. You're pretty well prepared.
Different. Let's be real clear. It's different. In Detroit, not quite as brutal. It's not quite as brutal, but here, the majority of years that I've lived here, it's brighter in winter, and I would much prefer sunshine and frigid temperatures versus more mild temperatures, but gray every day. Yeah.
I hear that. I went to school in northern Ohio near Lake Erie, and I remember that a lot of gray. It was like a season. It was like 6 months of gray. It felt like, and
Yeah.
which I thought was really hard.
Dead. It's all dead and gray. Bummer.
Apologies to our northern Ohio listeners.
Right.
Yeah.
But feel the sunshine here on the back.
That's right.
catalog.
It's always 72 and sunny here. And back,
Exactly.
when we started the show, we were all stuck in our houses, and the world felt very gray. But music always had a way of brightening everything up. And even now, as we approach the cold winter, the dark months here, it's so great to be here, listening to music together. And if you're new to the show, we do this every Friday. We get together with some of our favorite musicians, artists, and we listen to music from their back catalog, and we geek out about songwriting and recording. And the best part about it, and what gets us through all this, is the conversation, and not just between us on the podcast, but all of you out there watching live. We have Keri's VIPs with us today. We've got our Patreon community. So if you're out there, we want to hear from you. Like, looks like Mary is on her treadmill. Hey,
all right. See,
great.
that's a way to keep the endorphins going, and
That's right. Little
and,
music to keep you going.
exactly. So we love that. And I don't know. I want to dig into this record. I'm really excited to dig into this album. This is called the album you picked, because for those of you who are new to the show, we invite artists we love, and they get to pick what record of theirs that we revisit together. And you pick When It Don't Come Easy. And tell us a little bit about where this album fits into your discography.
This is an important record for my life. It was the first time. So when I moved here, I got signed to a record label, and then things were, a little bit out of my hands. There was a bigger machine going on. And then I left EMI and I went to a smaller label, which was Telarc. And I thought that there would be more ownership, but it was still, being plugged into a big machine. And so When It Don't Come Easy was the first album that I made that was mine, that I did on my own label. I produced it myself with the help of incredible musicians and engineer. And it was a collaborative effort, but it was like all my vision. And so I felt ownership of it in a different way. And so this record felt like the beginning of me stretching out and like really saying, like, this is me. This is who I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to visit this album together. And the first track you picked to feature on tonight's show is Red Eye Flight. Is there anything you want to say about the song before we take a listen?
I wrote this song. I was doing a lot of traveling back and forth between Japan and here. And I had an extension of a Japanese label in Japan. And so there was a lot of travel. And I was in Japan and thinking about how I was fantasizing about taking a red-eye flight and just getting home and back to the people that I loved. And so this song kind of came out of that.
All right, let's give it a spin. It says Keri Noble, Red Eye Flight, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I hear your voice through the telephone, but it's not the same as you hear. You tell me everything you did today, but baby, I can't understand you. The line's not clear, so I check the reception and I try you back, but all I get is a message when I really wanted to tell you that I'm coming home on a Saturday night. I changed my whole damn schedule for a red-eye flight. Catch a cab before the first light, so I can be there when you open your eyes. I did my thing, nobody complained. I gave
What a great way to open the
Nice.
show with that great optimistic song of homecoming. Red Eye Flight from Keri Noble's 2010 release When It Don't Come Easy, which we are revisiting today on the show with Keri joining us live. Our good friend Greg joining us. Such a great album. And Greg, one of those folks who's always out at the live shows taking photos. So great to have you here, Greg. And
Ellen, say something really quickly.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Took the artwork for the album. Greg Gibson, the one that you were just talking about, he shot that.
Oh, beautiful. That's so great. The photographer joining us for the show. Well, speaking of kind of the visuals, I felt like that song had such a cinematic and just the energy of it. Like I really pictured someone coming home on the red eye flight. I could almost see it in a rom-com, like someone like rushing to get home. You know what I mean? Like it has that kind of energy and brightness.
Almost like an
to show up.
urgency to it.
Yeah.
With
Like I
the
gotta make the
keyboards
flight.
and
Like isn't that true in like every rom-com? There's like the rush to like
Right?
stop the wedding or something.
Yeah, the gates are closing. The flight is like, sorry, you're about, and then they tell the story of like, let him on the plane. Yeah.
Well, kind of speaking of that kind of imagery, Keri, are you a songwriter that kind of thinks in pictures like that when you put a song together? What's your process when you're inspired? You have this feeling you want to get back home, and do you just tell us a little bit about your songwriting approach?
Definitely not pictures. Definitely not band. Even though that song is pretty heavily, everybody represented in that. I've got drums, bass, guitar, all of it. But no, I'm heavily influenced by feelings. Everything comes down to how I'm feeling. And then whatever comes out is just, I guess, the answer to whatever that aching or yearning is that I have inside.
Cool. And are you one of those folks that are kind of interweaving the melody and the lyrics at the same time, or do you tend to have one pop into your head before the other?
When I was younger, I used to be a waitress for 5 years, and I would when I was just getting into being a musician, and I would be on my shift, and I would have these little things, these little phrases or lyric ideas that would pop up, and I'd write them on cocktail napkins and put them in. I come home and put them to music, but that was so long ago. And the truth is, I mean, I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I feel like I've answered that question as if I know the answer. But the truth, I don't know the answer. How does anyone know how creativity works? I mean, really, the older I get and the longer I do it, the more I realize, it's a mystery. It really is a mystery. So it just sometimes music comes out, sometimes lyrics come out. I'm just grateful anything comes out.
I hear that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I think there isn't, certainly from my experience, it's like there's no consistency about it at all.
Yeah.
And just when
Some
I
folks-
try and capture it, I think, oh, this is how I can do it. And then it's like, nope, it doesn't work that time. I don't know.
But it's
No.
magic. I really do feel like it's a real life magic that you can't really bottle. You can't really explain it. The more you try to explain it, you can't replicate it. It just happens or it doesn't.
When did that magic start for you? Like, how old were you? What are your first memories of songwriting?
Um, well, I was always into music. I never thought that I was special in any way. Like I never had dreams of being an artist, but I played piano and sang at my choir and did all of that stuff. But somebody gave me an album of Joni Mitchell's Blue. And I'd never, I mean, my dad is a Southern Baptist pastor. We didn't listen to a lot of non Christian music growing up. I certainly didn't know who Joni Mitchell was at all. Um, and so when I got that album, and I know it's cliche because everyone loves Joni Mitchell and everyone loves that album, but it really did feel like somebody turned the lights on in my brain, and I just wanted to do that. I wanted to I think it was my permission. It gave me permission to share how I was feeling and what was trapped inside that maybe I didn't feel like I was allowed to say. And from then it was just, luckily it was during the time of, for some of the people who might be watching that are my age or older, it was during Lilith Fair. And so Sarah McLachlan and Jewel and Paula Cole and all of these women, these strong women with these perspectives and ownership of their emotions and not apologizing but leaning into it. It was all happening, and I was like, I gotta do that.
Nice. The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Supporting the show with small and large donations every month, this committed group of music lovers keep the party going and enjoy special perks like getting first look at our upcoming guests and invitations to private after parties and live stream performances with the artists. If you'd like to learn how you can become a patron of the show, please visit patreon.com/backcataloglisteningparty. Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, I love listening to that first track, Red Eye Flight. I love hearing that and knowing that this was your first like album that you produced, that you really had ownership of. Because I have to say, hearing that song, I was like, it sounds like a big studio album, and maybe it was, but I mean, the fact that like it feels like, wow, if this is your like first foray into doing that, it feels like one of your like LA, Nashville producer types doing it. So kudos to you. Tell us a little bit about where you recorded this album.
I recorded it at Terrarium. Rob Genetic was the engineer. It was where creation.
Mm-hmm.
So in Minneapolis, and I had recorded with Rob before, and the band was like my guy. Recorded before, but this was the first time that I was at the helm. And I appreciate you saying that. It's hard for me to accept it because I think producing is the least natural thing for me. I don't, especially when you've got like a really great guitar player or specifically a drummer. I don't know anything about drums. And if you have somebody who's really good, everything they do sounds like a great choice. So it really is an exhausting process that I don't enjoy when I have to put on the hat of like it's up to me to decide. We are so lucky to have such incredible talent in the Twin Cities, and when you've got good players, it sounds good and it makes it sound like you know what you're doing. When in fact, I think I was just feeling my way through it.
Yeah. And this was the first time that you had to put that hat on, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a big learning opportunity for you. But I assume, like, did you when you brought the songs to the band? I have just a fascination with arrangements. Like there's a million and one ways you can tell the same story. Did you work with these musicians specifically to kind of articulate your vision, or just like let them take it and do what they felt?
I'm not super experimental, so I don't. I think maybe as I get older, I'm actually a little bit more open to experimenting and hearing different opinions. I think at that time, I wanted it to be as close to the demos as possible.
Hmm.
I'm someone who's very comfortable playing on stage solo, piano and voice, and I'll like handle the bass line with my left hand, and kind of an accompaniment melody with my right. And I'm singing the runs and doing all the things. So for me, it's a challenge to get out of the way and let the bass player play the bass line and let the set the tempo and all of that. But I think it was really important that I wanted those songs the way that I heard them with just me playing and singing. I wanted them to be elevated and filled out, but still very close to. I really just love organic songwriter music. And so I didn't want to get super textural or really deviate too far into like, oh, these are these cool sounds. We could synth it out. Or I was so, I mean, again, that's what I think made it somewhat possible for me to produce because I wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel at all. I was just like, can we take what I did here and make it bigger and make it fuller, but let's not deviate.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you had the vision.
That's exactly what the producer does. So great job. Well, I want more music. And
Me
I also
too.
want to remind folks who are joining us live here on the Back Catalog Listening Party to share your comments and questions. Throw them in there as we go, and we'll get to as many as we can. This next track you picked to feature, Keri, is Make Me Believe. Is there anything you want to say about this one before you take a listen?
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite songs that I've ever recorded because it's a song about being burned in love and saying, I'm never going to fall in love again. But then someone kind of, starts to make you think like, well, maybe I could, right? So, storytelling perspective, I think we can all relate to that of just like, I'll never fall in love again. And then you're like, maybe I could. But you're going to have to convince me. So lyrically, that's the song. But I have these background singers and the band, like my first time being able to incorporate what I feel like is some of the gospel Detroit influences that I grew up with into my music in a way that felt like really paying respect to where I came from.
Excellent. Well, let's give it a spin right now. This is Keri Noble, Make Me Believe, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Make me understand why I should give you a chance, and give me a reason to stay when I'm so good at running away. Oh, but right in this moment, you've got my attention, and I want to hear what you want to say. Ooh, hey, yeah. Make me a believer. Please take me down to the river and baptize my soul in your love. Show me that you can really be all the man that I need, baby. Please make me believe. Tell me why you're here when you know that I made it clear that I'm so through. I'm so through with love. It's the last thing that I'm thinking of. Oh, but right in this moment, you got
I don't want it to fade out. I want it to
No.
keep going. Keri
Whew.
Noble with Make Me Believe from her 2010 album When It Don't Come Easy, which we're revisiting today on the back catalog listening party with Keri Noble joining us live. And you weren't joking about channeling your Detroit roots in that. I mean, that was like some real Motown vibes, especially those backing vocals.
Well, that's Kathleen and Nathan.
Sorry, can you say that again so we can hear you?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
That's Kathleen and Rhonda Johnson, and they're Minneapolis royalty. And I was so lucky to have them. And I misspoke earlier because I was thinking about it's funny, I haven't listened to these songs. Obviously, I'm not like driving around listening. So like as I'm listening to it, I'm like taken back to what was going on. And I said Terrarium with Rob Genetic, but Terrarium is where I record a lot of the music now that I do. What was Rob's studio? I can't remember what he called it. Ellen, you know Rob, don't you?
Yes, and I'm gonna have to look it up because I can't. I'm blanking on the
Yeah.
name of the studio.
But it was in creation, and it was Rob Genetic was the engineer, and Kathleen and Rhonda Johnson were those incredible singers that you heard.
Hmm.
Just was it was a long day when we recorded that, um, but it just felt like all of a sudden magic happened. Again, I keep coming back to this idea that it's like you can't music is not science, you know, it's like it's magic, and you just you know when it's working, and you also are frustrated when it's not. But I I forgot how much I really enjoyed that song, so thank you for giving me.
Absolutely. You're not alone either. Alinda says, love this song. And Patrick chimed in to say, love this one. Yeah, and that was great. And I couldn't help but think you were channeling a little bit of that preacher's daughter vibes there, as well as feeling some of your roots in there. And it made me think of a question about, mentioning this album being kind of for your first foray into your own. What could you do on this record that you couldn't do before?
Well, first of all, I mean, are we allowed to swear on this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Of music. I mean, that album, I can't remember how many songs are on it, but it's my longest record for sure. And I had so much that I wanted to do and so much that I wanted to say. And I was the boss of myself. And it was the first time on many levels. It wasn't just it was just the first time that I was the boss of myself and my life. And I just think like I had not made music like that before, and it was an important moment.
Nice.
Well, it sounds like you were definitely boss on this album. I'm
For
just saying,
sure.
especially on that track. I mean, I don't know how you could do that song any better, any different. I mean, you could do it differently, but I
Sure.
don't know that you could do it any better than that, nailing that sound. And I'm so glad you gave us the intro about like what inspired the song, because if I just heard that song, I would have thought it was a straight up gospel tune,
Sure.
both lyrically and musically, which
Sure.
is so great that it kind of works in kind of multiple ways. But I was really struck by the organ. We were talking about the backing vocals. And again, Kathleen Johnson, for those of you curious, she's sung on a bunch of projects we've featured on the back catalog listening party. I know some of John Gorka's records as well. But the organ,
Mhm.
amazing. I know you're a keyboard player. Was that you playing, or did you enlist someone else?
Yeah, let me be so clear. That is not me. That's Tom Umbrella,
Oh, well,
who is a master. And
played with Prince and all kinds of other people.
yeah, so he obviously knew what he was doing. I'm lucky to, I mean, honestly, I wrote the song and I knew the vibe that I wanted. And this is an example of like, technically I produced the song, but actually it was just get out of the way and let the people who are in the room, who know what they're doing with their instrument, do what they do. And that was I think.
I mean, did you have any notes for any of these people, or were you like, just do it again? Or were you just like, no,
That was
just
great.
do it 10 more times just because I want to hear it? Yeah.
I have really strong feelings and opinions about singing and backgrounds, background vocals. I don't have as strong feelings about any other instrument because I don't play. I play piano. I don't play organ. I don't play whirly or so for the but for the singers, I think I knew that I was working with incredible women who knew how to do what they did. So I certainly didn't want to get in the way of that. So I had some basic ideas of like, here are the words that I want you to say, and here's when I want you to come in. But then there were also moments where it was very much like freestyle. I've got you in
Mm.
the room and your
Call
mic,
and response happening. Yeah.
just do you. And that was thrilling to be in the room for.
For the vocals, were you doing those like live together in like isolation booths, or were they kind of singing back to your track?
They were singing back to my track. So I record my vocals for the most part live, play piano. And then, I think they came after we had already done the whole band thing.
Ah, sounds so good.
So good. And yeah, and speaking of the sounds, we're about halfway through the hour here. And as Ellen was mentioning, this is a really beautiful sounding record. It's produced so well. Way to go, Keri. The musicianship is outstanding. The Rob and the crew, engineering and doing this make it. I mean, this is a great sounding record. And whether you're listening to this right now on YouTube with us or you're listening to the podcast version, you're not getting all of the information. There's a few ones and zeros missing that you gotta hear, and the best way to do that, and the best way to support Keri and let her know how much you appreciate her music is just go buy this record. Whether it's a online digital version of it. Keri, do you still have physical copies of this anymore?
I don't, because nobody has CD players.
That's true. Well, on the back catalog listening party, that's a different demographic.
But I did notice you can buy the digital tracks directly from your website, and that's probably the best way to support Keri and get the best quality version. Or if you find it anywhere, I will say I have a CD copy.
Oh, we're
so if you make friends with me and visit South Minneapolis, maybe I'll loan it to you. But really, the best way is to get the tracks from Keri, because sound so much better than even on your favorite streaming service. So
yeah, and we've got her website scrolling across the screen. We'll put it in the comments as well. It's easy, kerinoble.com. And you should definitely head on over there and purchase this and all of Keri's records. It's the best way, the number one way to support an artist.
That's right. And I see on your website, you also do you have some sheet music as well as other things?
Just select some. Yeah.
Excellent. So any of you budding keyboard players wanting to learn how to play some of Keri's songs, that might be a great way to do that as well. And when you're there, you'll also find Keri has some great holiday albums to accompany her upcoming holiday shows. If you live in or will be near the Twin Cities around the holidays, November 29th, she'll be doing a holiday show at the 318 Cafe, and December 13th and 14th at Parley Lake Winery. And I still haven't been out to the winery. Why don't you tell the folks what they can expect for a holiday show at the winery?
Well, I play there. I don't know what year we're going on now, but both the 318 and Parley Lake Winery are kind of my home away from home. They're huge supporters of local music. They have a great roster of artists that they have. Parley Lake Winery, I was telling you guys earlier, is a little bit like if you wanted to be in a Hallmark. During the winter, they open up their tasting room, which is a barn, a beautiful barn, and they get seats and there's a stage. That feeling like it's just so cozy and you're tucked away, beautiful, picturesque part of Waconia. And so I play some songs that are familiar, holiday songs that everybody knows, but mostly it's I have an album called More Than Santa. It's all original holiday music. And so I play a lot of those, and then I'll deviate a little bit and play, sprinkle in a few non-holiday music songs. But for the most part, we just kind of get into the spirit together.
Nice. And I love the idea of listening to Keri's songs like that Red Eye Flight, listening to it in a Hallmark holiday movie set. This whole picture is like perfect for me.
Right, right.
Maybe you'll meet your love at the Keri Noble concert. You never know. I'm just saying.
What if I had actors that like at the barn?
That'd be amazing. Like simulate like a proposal like at the. Oh man. Diane joining us said she still has her copy of Joni Mitchell's Blue, and she said she went to the Lilith Fair concert in Austin, Texas. So, a woman after your own heart.
Yeah.
And also has a CD and cassette player. So,
Woman after our heart too.
Yeah, exactly.
Way
Thank
to
you,
go,
Diane.
Diane.
You're keeping all the artists going through your purchases. But again, KeriNoble.com is where you can find Keri Noble's tour dates, her music, and all that good stuff. But I want to get to more music.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot more tracks. This one is What I Gotta Do. Is there anything you want to say about this one before we listen?
This is one of those songs that I wrote pretty quickly. Like it just came out real fast. And it was just like, it's when you're in a relationship and you know you're the one who's acting crazy. And you're like, I mean, typically I'm the one who's saying, why are you acting crazy? But in this moment, I'm owning that I'm a little off the rails and I want to get it back on the rails. What do I have to do?
All right. This is Keri Noble, What I Gotta Do, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I've been thinking about you, wondering what I gotta do just to keep you in my life, yeah. Show you that I can do right, 'cause I've been playing games and acting crazy, saying maybe I'll go, maybe I'll stay. But I've been thinking it over, and I wanna start over. So tell me what I gotta do. I think you're the kind of man, yeah, one who might understand how to keep me coming back. Alright, you got me thinking about the fact that I've been playing games and acting crazy, saying maybe I'll go, maybe I'll stay. But I've been thinking it over, and I wanna start over. So tell me what I gotta do. Tell me what I gotta do. Baby, I know what you need, yeah. Just a little consistency, I can give you that and more. Oh, you're the one that I adore, even though I've been playing games and acting crazy, saying maybe I'll go, maybe I'll stay. But I've been losing sleep, praying please don't let him leave. So tell me what I gotta do. What I gotta do.
Keri Noble with What I Gotta Do from her 2010 album When It Don't Come Easy. And Patrick says, I think this is my favorite from the album. And it's just funny.
Right?
I know this is one of those albums where people are like, oh no, this is my favorite. Oh no, this is my favorite. But it's a fun tune. And I do want to ask about the title, When It Don't Come Easy, because it's named after another track that we're not going to get to today, but that was written by Patty Griffin. And you mentioned Patty Griffin earlier. Tell us a little bit about why that was the song that you thought, or the title that you thought, matched this set of songs.
So Patty Griffin is number 2. If Joni Mitchell is number 1, Patty. And that song, When It Don't Come Easy, has always been just like this song that moves me deeply. And this was one of those rebellious moments where I thought no label would ever let me not only record a song that I didn't write, because I'm a singer-songwriter, so we're supposed to be promoting me, but also name the album after a song that it just encapsulated that time in my life. So I just leaned in. I just felt like, who's going to stop me? And the answer, nobody at that.
Excellent.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Quickly though, that's Matt Navachis on drums, Ramoth on guitar. Who am I missing? Jeff Bailey on bass. And then on accordion on that last song was also Tommy Barbarella. Man, talents. Yeah.
Really killer
all-star.
band. I mean,
all-star
really
band
is all
right
stars. No joke. And you were saying these are folks that you had been playing with, or were some special guests that you brought in just for the recording?
At that time, those were my guys. Those were the people that I recorded a lot of music with, a lot of my music.
Mm-hmm. And I know when you play out often these days, you're often playing solo, or maybe you have like one other person joining you. At the time when this record came out, were you kind of playing more live with the band, or just sort of for those special like release shows?
I think early in my career, I believed that I wasn't, I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but I bought into the idea that I wasn't enough by myself. So I thought I needed a lot of people around me. And I certainly feel like I was enhanced by the incredible artistry of the musicians that I played with. But these days, I think I have fully moved into my own power, my own awareness. And now when I play with a band, it's specific to either where I'm playing or what I personally am missing. Like I have a drummer that I use. His name is Zach Miller, and he's a brilliant percussionist and drummer, and also just a great human. And then Dan Lawan is this guitar player slash incredible cellist slash singer. And the three of us have played some songs together, played some shows together. And I feel like sometimes I get tired of playing by myself. And then I'll call them and say, like, can you come do this show with me or whatever? And whenever they do, it's like they just inject into me that feeling that that I crave, of just hearing my music in a different way from incredible players. But then I feel like I'm able to go back and take that energy into just delivering that one-on-one from me to the audience as well. So I think I'm more comfortable picking and choosing when I'm solo and when I'm playing with help.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like that same producer hat, which you embraced back in 2010 when you made this record. It feels like it's now you embody it in all the avenues of your music making, which is really wonderful. The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by EFS Publicity. Founded by veteran publicist, promoter, DJ, and musician Ellen Stanley, EFS brings an artist's perspective to the table, working to help clients get to the next level in their career. Services include national and international media campaigns, radio promotions, tour press, crowdfunding, grant writing, and more. Get a quote or set up a consultation today at efspublicity.com. Well, rumor has it that you might have some new stuff in the works that we might be hearing at some point. Is this
Yeah.
true, producer?
Yeah. Well, and for this, I will be sharing the producing responsibilities with someone else. I have been putting together an ensemble of artists that are going to record with me in February, probably 10 songs. And we're going to do it in a little bit of an unusual way. So typically, I've had the musicians come in and we'll just record for a week. And I'm going to do things a little differently. So I don't want to say too much about it yet, but I'm going to record it at the library. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, Matt Patrick's studio. Yeah.
Yes, and I am hoping Matt said that he will, so I'm going to go on record and say like I'm going to name it and claim it, but Matt is going to co-produce it with me, and um, I think it's going to be really really fun and exciting and very different in the experience of recording it because we've got just a really cool idea that I don't know anybody to have done before. So stay tuned for that. But that'll
All
be
right.
Excellent. So I guess you'll have to follow Keri Noble on the social media places, get on her email list so you know about this album as soon as you can. KeriNoble.com is how you keep tabs on her. And I think we can fit in two more. What do you think?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
But before we do, I should just take this moment to thank our Patreon supporters.
Oh, yeah.
And these are the folks that have kept the show going for 4 years and launched us into the podcast stratosphere. Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Ellen, Chris, Alex, Becky, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Mary, Nikki, Joni, David, CJ, Wiley, Stephanie, Christy, Diane, Hetty, Sandy, and neighbor Ann, and maybe you, if you want to join us. You can join our Patreon. You can get invited to these live show tapings with the artists where you can interact. You can get that back catalog listening party founder's pint glass that Tony is sporting. I noticed some of that beer's gone, Tony.
That's right. Yep.
It's a good
Sign of
hour.
a good episode. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So you can get one of those and get invited to special online meetups and after parties. So you can do that at backcataloglisteningparty.com or by going to patreon.com/backcataloglisteningparty. But let's get to more music.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one, which I heard someone mention in response when you were posting that you were going to be doing this taping, Japan, and you mentioned at the top of the show you've been going a lot to Japan. Is that what inspired this song?
Yes, my life was falling apart at that time, and I was on a solo trip to Japan for a promotional tour, and I was there for I think almost 2 weeks by myself. No band, no management, just me and a translator and the label. And I remember I would just be doing interviews and performances all day, but then at night I could just walk the streets and just experience it on my own. And I just remember thinking, I don't want to go home. I just want to stay here forever. And then I wrote the song.
All right. This is Keri Noble, Japan, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Had to get away. I just had to go. So I took a plane to Tokyo. Walked the streets at night. Slept my days away. Left my will to fight back in the States. And I don't wanna go back to my home. I need a plan because I'm never gonna leave Japan. Language I can't speak, people I don't know. the street, but I'm alone. You can never tell, oh, when the sun sets low. Lights are always bright in Tokyo, and I don't wanna go back to my home. I need a plan because I'm never gonna leave. Blackbirds flying overhead. Wish that I could fly. I don't wanna go back to my home. I need a plan because I'm never going back. I don't wanna go back to my home. I need a plan because I'm never gonna leave. Never gonna leave. I'm never gonna leave Japan.
Well, I guess you did leave Japan. We heard the captain or whoever was playing the captain. My favorite was if you listen as it's fading out, it says sunny and light winds and -4 degrees. I love that. So was who did you record that or was that someone that you like had playing the part of the captain in the studio?
This was another one of those times, Ellen, where I was like, I can do whatever I want. And so the song is, I don't know. Do you know how long that song is? It's so long.
It's 5 minutes and 9 seconds.
Yeah, it's over what a lot of, standard commercial radio time would be for sure.
Yeah.
And I thought the whole song is just about how I'm never going to leave Japan. I'm never. But of course, that's how people feel when they're on vacation or when they're somewhere else. It's like I'm going to find a way to make life here in this place. And then you gotta go home. And so I told this is a moment with me and Rob Genetic, who was the engineer and just down for anything. He was just it was so fun. And he and I actually got together recently and we were just kind of reliving some of these moments and we were just laughing. But at some point I was like, okay, what if We put an effect on your voice and you become the captain, like just as it's fading out. And you think she's never going to leave Japan. She's never, oh, no, she's leaving.
By the way, just as you started saying that, the plane, because we
I
live
know.
near the flight path, just started coming over, and I'm imagining someone saying that very thing. And I love how you do encapsulate that feeling, because you're absolutely right. I think every time I go up to the North Shore, I think, why am I ever going to go back to Minneapolis? I'm just going to live up here, and it's because it's not your home,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah.
that's part of the appeal, right?
Yeah.
My wife always jokes, you don't want to move there. You just want to move to vacation.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, Diane says, "Ooh, love that one. I'm going to Japan for the first time next month." That will be going around in my head. And Chris also saying beautiful. And he asks, are you going back soon? Is this a place you still go back to visit?
I haven't been in a while. I know I will return there eventually. I spent a lot of time there and I don't have a reason to go back right now, but I know I will.
Well, this has been such a fun hour of music. We're going to get to one more song. If you're game to hang with us, Keri, for one more. I know this is one we really wanted to get to, but this has been, I'm so glad we got to squeeze in Japan.
Yeah, that was just a really wonderful vibe.
Cool.
Super great vibe. And we're going to end with one that I know you said was a fan favorite, Fading. Is there anything you want to say about this before we dive in?
Just that sometimes you lose yourself in a relationship, and this is a song about kind of reclaiming yourself.
Excellent.
Keri Noble, Fading, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
I cannot go back. How could I do that when I tried to be everything you need and lost me? I cannot pretend that I don't resent the part of you who promised to always see me. But in the meantime, I was fading, dissipating, and always keeping an eye on you. I forgot that I mattered too. No one left to blame. We both share the shame of making the same mistakes,
What a perfect way to end the show. Keri Noble with Fading from her 2010 album When It Don't Come Easy. And well, when you sing it, it sounds easy, Keri. I know it. I know all the time and money and soul that artists put into their projects, and I know you did the same on this record that you produced. But yeah, we are so grateful to get to revisit it with you and joining us and answering these questions. Folks loving it. Alinda says beautiful. Connie says thanks for a really interesting show. Thank you for being here, Keri.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, you guys. I really appreciate it. And it was fun to relive some of the moments I haven't thought about in a long time. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. What a great hour, and thanks everybody for joining in the conversation. All of you that are watching in real time. Again, if you want to be part of that real time crew, we do this every week. We'd love to have you on our Patreon. But we'd love for you to share this episode so more people can hear all these great stories about this wonderful album from Keri. So whether you're on YouTube or on the podcast app, we'd love for you to share it with people that you know would love Keri's music.
That's right. And you can go to kerinoble.com for the latest in Keri music. You can get this album, the digital files, or any of her great recordings, and check out her live shows as well. kerinoble.com. And thank you all for joining us. This is our favorite hour of the week. And great music, great conversation, great company. Thank you so much. Nothing. You don't need anything else.
No, you sure don't. Well, Keri, thanks again. And everybody, you have a wonderful week. Looks like we got a couple more folks. Just wanted to chime in here. Christopher says, agreed. Thanks, Keri, for a great show. And Patrick says, thanks for a good hour. This is a terrific album. We agree. And thanks, everybody, for being here. And we'll see you back here next week for another episode of the Back Catalog Listening Party. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, which helps more people discover our show and our guests.
And do you want to be a part of the live show, get a first look at upcoming guests, and receive invites to private online parties and live streams? Then join our Patreon community at backcataloglisteningparty.com.
Have a great week. We'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.